open the internet, access to the internet, and make sure that that is not rolled back in the United States of America.
I agree. I just really do not believe that money and whoever pays controls who we get our information from. We're already seeing what happens when you do that with cable TV, and I don't want that done with our internet.
I started my career in the high-tech industry, and I don't know where we would be without the internet. How many times a day do you say, Google that, Google this, Google that? And making this an issue is core to our democratic values, and we absolutely have to fight it.
So I've been working on the internet and internet security for a long time, almost 20 years, and think what the opposite of net neutrality is. Net favoritism. I think having telcos, our telephone companies, gate and control who gets to have what access to which information at what speeds and when, based on who can pay the most, is a threat to the information society of the future. So net neutrality is key and important. I've worked on it, I care about it. This is essential to the future of our democracy.
Absolutely do everything to protect net neutrality. There's a reason why emerging democracies, the public really focuses on access to the internet, access to information, and democratization of information, and there's a reason why dictators try to shut it down. We can never give up that democracy of our information because it gives us our freedom to act. So I would support it.
Not only would I support it, but I'm currently working with a woman who authored Women in Tech on an amendment to the CFAA, so the Computer Fraud Abuse Act. I'm very active in the cybersecurity community. I spoke a little bit about how this is influencing gun control and some other issues as well. So, huge support of net neutrality, already working on amending legislation in this category with some of the leading experts in the field.
Yes, net neutrality is insanely important. I think we need to take a step further and actually make an internet bill of rights. The internet has taken over how we do everything. Without net neutrality, we wouldn't have companies like Google and Amazon. We wouldn't have paradigm shifting things happening all around our country that are disrupting how we live in a very positive way. And we need to keep that going. And that's also the last bastion of good information that we have available to us.
Next question from the crowd. Other than your party ID, how do you differ from Dino Rossi, and how do you plan to make those differences clear and out fundraising? What was the first part of the question? Other than your party ID, how do you differ from Dino?
Well, as a Democratic Socialist, I'm not sure I could be more different than Dino Rossi. I am for free college tuition. I am for Medicare for all. I am for having a basic standard of living for every American so we can surpass Sweden as the happiest country in the world. We have the resources, we have the technology, we have everything we need to do it right now.
It's an interesting question where I think I'll differ a little bit. So I understand from feedback I've gotten from around the district that a super majority of people are looking for a business person to take over this role. And so people will look at Dino as a business person. I fundamentally do not see him that way. He's a real estate person who's taken advantage of people in foreclosure situations, who's done slumlord arrangements. He is not a business person. So I am a business person. I've done that creating jobs from a startup from the ground up and from improving education. So we want to win that battle, and I see myself doing that. And also, fundraising isn't an election.
I think we're all predicting that he's going to be pretty tough and formidable in this election. So how am I similar? I'm pretty tough. I've played with the big fishes in my own sort of pond, and I don't back into the corner easily. Where I'm different is I didn't decide to do this because I wanted to win a race. I decided to do this because I want to serve the people of Auburn and the people of Washington 8. And I think having that caring and compassion at the heart of what I'm doing is going to make us really different.
Republicans usually have an advantage when they run as business people and they care about the private sector economy, and I've been working in businesses since I was 12. They are often pretty good at national security, or at least they say so, and they play that card, and I've been working in national security for a long time, so I'm happy about that and how that matchup works. I'm really concerned about his belief that he should credit card tax breaks. I'm really concerned that he believes in trickle-down economics. And I think that his desire to privilege his friends rather than people who work every day for a living is the big challenge we face and we're going to lose.
Well, how am I different than Dino Rossi? Well, I am a little brown girl from India. I think that says it all. I am feisty, and I believe that climate change is real, and I also believe that women have the right to choose what they do with their own bodies, and those are two things that I know that he fights very hard against. So those are a couple of the differences. Oh, there was a question about money. Yeah, so he's raised $1 million, I think, Braden just told me, and we know that raising a lot of money helps, but it doesn't win every election.
There's a world of difference between who I am and what I stand for and who Dino Rossi is and what he stands for. On the one hand, a citizen pediatrician deeply concerned about our community who's willing to leave her job to do this and fight for the community, and on the other, a perpetual politician who is exactly the problem that we have in DC. He is raising a ton of money, and it takes a ton of money to win races. Right now, I am doing very well with fundraising, I'm leading the pack, and I will raise enough to get my message out to the voters. Right now, none of us are known by anybody. Money does play.
I'm different from Dino Rossi because I connect both sides of the mountains. If we're going to win in this election as Democrats, we need to be able to unite the east part of the district with the west part of the district. I was born and raised in Ellensburg, Washington. Spent my entire professional career here in Western Washington. I understand both sides of the mountains. I also have spent my career representing people and fighting for workers' rights and fighting for working families. And I've never lost an election.
So since Trump took office, we've seen a lot of resistance, women's march, indivisible, and so on. Much of it has been, most of it, I think, has been driven by women. And almost half the candidates in this race right here are women. So what effect do you think that will have on this election? What effect do large number of female candidates have on this election?
Look, I mean, there's no question that women are underrepresented in politics. I think it's fantastic. The one, maybe the singular thing that has brought us all together is understanding that in order to resist against Donald Trump, we all got to come together, and we got to do it now. And I think having a robust primary system where we figure out who the best person to take on Dino Rossi and win this seat is absolutely important. There's no question we have strong leaders who are women in Washington. We've got Patty Murray leading the charge. We've got Maria Cantwell. I think that's fantastic. I think I'm the best candidate in this race to win this district because this district's unique. Thanks.
Isn't it funny how when you put a misogynistic person in the White House, women get ticked off and run for office? I think we're going to have a wave. I think this will be another year of the woman. I think we really needed to be. I tend to not play that card, but there is a big problem with representation, and we need our voices heard.
For every 5 members of Congress, less than 1 is a woman. Let that sink in. That is not representation. We need representatives that look like us, act like us, think like us, so that they can represent the rest of us.
As the grown son of a feminist single mom, I think that she would have been filled with delight to see what happened last Tuesday with all these amazing women running and winning. And I think that the more women that join this race, the better. And I also think that we can use it as a time to talk about this amazing and important cultural conversation we're having right now about gender-based violence and how it's not working in our culture and something we really need to address. So I think it's all upside and positive stuff.
Well, I think an important thing to ask is not just what does it mean to have women candidates, but we have to admit that Trump won because a lot of women voted for Trump. And I'm hoping they have a lot of buyer's regret by now. And I'm seeing that in the marches, I'm seeing it in the waves, I'm seeing it with a lot of young women who didn't actually vote, but then started marching afterwards. So I'm hoping we're seeing an activation of the women voters to be able to come out and change the face of Congress going forward.
I would say that I'm, proud that I've had the opportunity over the better part of the last decade to work with, canvass, knock on doors, and help elect a lot of female leaders in Washington State. We are an amazing state in the union in that we have 50% female representation at the federal level right now. By no stretch can we not do more. I'm so excited to fight side by side with the women leaders that we have here, locally, and in this congressional race, should they become the primary contender.
I think it's amazing that women are running. I'm actually working heavily with Sarah Smith running in the 9th, and we have so many powerful women running as Democrats all around Washington. I hope it's something that keeps trending and keeps moving on. I just finished canvassing for Minka, and I'm so happy that she won, and that means a lot for me because I'm with Wolfpack, and she's already vowed to support our push to get money out of politics.
Thank you. We're going to ask each candidate to wrap up with a 1-minute statement to close out. So, since you wound yourself in and out of that lovely spot there, we'll start with you.
Okay. So, I'm somebody who's been affected a lot over the years by the policies that our politicians have done. Presidentially, the policies that Clinton put through affected me in a lot of ways because it meant my father lost his job while I was in college, and it almost made me have to drop out of college. Luckily, I had a good source of friends who pooled their money together and helped me make up the difference. I was working over 40 hours a week at the time. Fast forward some of his stuff, and then compounded with a lot of what Bush did led to the recession. And it's time that kind of stuff ends, and we need to get principled politicians, not just people who speak well and make promises they don't keep.
What time do you have? A minute on this one. A minute, okay. Do you want more? No, good. Everything I can think back going through my life, growing up in a family where we didn't have means and we didn't have access, and one day getting the idea that, I wanted to own a business and make a difference, right? My entire life has been uphill battles. I remember when I was graduating from school, and I was told because I didn't come from money and I didn't come from a family with access, you have a less than 1% chance of getting the capital for your company to start your business. And I fought to the point where I didn't even have enough money in my bank account to get food before we brought that money in, and I made it happen. I'm a big believer in what you can do when you have a dream. So, I'm also coming at this, putting some of my own resources now into this, raising money. We'll get to numbers soon, but I think Kim and I will be in front of the pack in terms of fundraising. So I'm going to go after this. I know Dino and how he thinks, and it is not a good representation for this state. It's not a good representation for this district, and I will make sure that people know that.
Well, I just want to end by thanking you all. So thanking you all for being here tonight on a weekday evening, and thanking to the organizers for letting me come and introduce myself and meet you all for the first time. I look forward to hearing from you and to talking to you and hearing what problems keep you up at night. I'm a problem solver. I need to understand what your priorities are. And I look forward to hearing what your vision is for the better quality of life and the better future that we can bring to our communities here. So thank you very much.
there's a lot of focus put on candidates and who they are and whether we're one of you and those kind of questions. Where do we stand? I think this election is about who the best candidate is, but I think it's as much or more about voters. And this district is an essential bridge. People call it gerrymandered. I don't. We have a nonpartisan voting commission. This was agreed to by the Republicans and Democrats in a unanimous form. It's a 50-50 district. It's got a fantastic combination of what the economy is like down in Auburn and here and across the mountains where I live. So this is an opportunity, as the only district of its kind in the state, to have a real conversation about a district that looks exactly like America and who you want to represent you and where you want to go. Because after seeing so many quick political waves in our last few 10 to 20 years, we know this period's going to end, and it's all of our jobs to make it come out in a positive way and not take a bad-ass, even worse turn. So that's what I have.
I'm an optimist. My family came here with $6. So there I really have no other choice but to be an optimist. And for me, I look at this election, and one of the things I love about this area is that it's a microcosm for the entire U.S., right? It's so divided. East, it's divided central, west, it's suburban, urban, it's Republican, it's Democrat, it's still Hillary versus Bernie, it's still so divided. And that's why we launched Unite the 8th, because the only way we're going to win and we are going to defeat Dino Rossi, it's not going to be money. He is going to probably outraise all of us. But it is going to be about uniting, it is going to be about a message of hope. And I just, as I mentioned, had the immigration town hall. It went actually, I think that was yesterday. I'm losing track of my days. And the wonderful, beautiful Latina woman said the most amazing thing. She said, we've been living the American dream, and it's time to wake up. So I encourage us all to stay awake.
Last week, Emily's List came out and endorsed me as a candidate that they think can beat Dino Rossi. If you would like a woman pediatrician to fight for your health care, for your kids, for your education, for your clean air and water, your public lands and jobs, elect me. I would love to earn your vote.
I believe that the job of a congressman is to learn and listen, and then help and lead. And this is a job you get to interview for 2 years. That's why I launched my campaign with 30 town halls in 30 days in the month of September. Listen to the people all over the district, understanding these issues, so you can go to battle in Washington, D.C. and stand up for working families. The choice of this election is going to be clear. It's going to be between Dino Rossi and a Democrat. I've spent my career taking down bullies and standing up for what's right. And that's exactly the type of representative I'm going to be. I would love to have your support, and thank you so much for being here.